Okay, good evening. It's the 27th of the 6th, 2026. Yes, I've got a husky voice. That's not going to stop me communicating with the flock. 4-T, the century, and the pursuit of the golden truth. And we only say facts here and stick with the facts. Solar White Wizard, and it's a great mass awakening. Unstoppable, inevitable, irreversible, unavoidable. Now, the debate. Did we have a debate with our government when they changed it to multiculturalism? No, there was no debate. They forced it on the populace. Everyone that came here before 1973, it was a monoculture anyway, because everyone had to abide by each country's rules. Until in 1975, they'd done the Discrimination Act to use against us. Use against its own populace. There was already things in play there. It was called assault to anybody. Didn't matter who you were, where you were. They were the laws. They were the laws. And that's when racism came in too, with the Discrimination Act. It's all a lot of bull dust. Okay, I'll tell you right now, modern culture, wake up your eyes, that goes back to BCE. Ancient times. And it was always with us, and we were have no problems about it until over in Canada came up with this out of thin air, like they always do with the fiction laws. 1964 was the year I was born, actually. And that's when they done these fiction multiculturalism and forced it on the cultures that were previously there. More or less got coined after the Second World War. So it's really, really recently, and it was an experiment, and it's a mistake. It hasn't worked. If we were in a monocultural society for eons, ancient times, monoculture originated, first existing for thousands of years. How long has monocultural lasted? About the same as my birth. No, it was, correct me, it was about 10 years. I was 10 years old when they started all this multiculturalism crap. Monoculturalism, ancient times, in the BCEs. First existing, monoculture originated first existing for thousands of years as the default structure for early human civilizations. Early human civilizations, empires, and modern nations. And then multiculturalism. See, why isn't this being said? Because it's been hidden again. They hide things from yous. And this is why I sit as a father of the father of the father and the mother of the mother of the mother, and unaltered, it's just pure lineages for 4,000 years. And why I'm sitting before you, I don't know, because I was feeling a bit disappointed with everything today. But then I thought, oh, hang on, is he going on about this monoculture stuff? So, hey, that's what I do. That's what your emperor does. Shows it to the people, and the time is 2031:43. I don't normally sit here and discuss this stuff and inform you populace with this, but as I said, I was disappointed today. But it's a challenge. Everything's a challenge. And life is full of disappointments. But you love and live life. And we sort this challenge out. It's a challenge of a lot of problems today. A lot of things have been, as I said, it's been railroaded. Well, it's been raided. It's been raided, our way of life. And that is why all cultures stuck to themselves. Can't have culture unless you know how to live in peace and harmony. Yeah, it works. It works fine. Works fine. But all of a sudden one culture wants to start, murdering the other culture. Or one bad culture brings out the bad in the other culture. Good cultures go with good cultures. Simple, isn't it? Or learn to, how we did as Anglo Celts. That's our last program. I got in that last program. That's what we are. We're Anglo Celts and the Saxons and the Jutes. 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 As I say, all through the ancient times and history, through history and civilizations that keep going the way we're going now, we're just going to be, in another 300 years from now, they'll see Sydney Harbour Bridge and that all falling down and so forth, just exactly like Planet of the Apes. Take your stinking paws off me. Monoculture, ancient times, kept us alive and breathing. And we still communicated with other tribes. It was like a barter system. And then all of a sudden you just get corrupted. You become foolish. Very, very foolish. You're doing foolish things out there. You just, by my command, stop immigration now. All countries should cease immigration, full on. And then start assimilating, interrogating this, the foreigners first. They've got to be interrogated. You got to see what they're up to and what they're on about. But integrating with everyone. Maybe investigate them, interrogate them, and then integrate them. And assimilation. And I just done that roughly on my hands today. I just got a bit annoyed about it. As I said, very disappointed. I know I've got 60 subscriptions, but now that 60 should be turned into 120 and 240 and then 480. I thought we would have been progressing a little bit more than what we are, and I'm grateful and appreciation everyone that's following me and through those subscriptions and so forth, but just being my honest self, but a little bit disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed. But as I say, life is full of disappointment and disappointments, but we get over it. As I said, it's a challenge, and it's a challenge for me. As I said, there's a lot of energies I'm harnessing and balancing and centering and grounding, because it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal because I am the real deal. And when you're operating on frequencies like an emperor, needs a lot of energy, and I need to take a lot of energy too. So, and plus, I also give my unconditional divine love energy out to you guys out there. So, there's a lot happening. But I just like, because they're being, that's what I'm saying, they don't know. I need to bring the 20, 30-year-olds into the flock, You just need to come in, come home to roost. You're 30, 40-year-olds, 30 to 40 each decade, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. I know I've got probably about 40% now, and that tells me a lot because it's my age bracket, the 55's up. I think we're sitting on about 40% now of my viewers are on that, which I thought we would have been a lot more with the younger group. I thought the 20, 30-year-olds would have been more awake by now because in their indoctrination, they should have been undoctorating themselves with the internet, going, geez, look at all this false stuff. Like, stay away from all that other shit. Obviously, YouTube now is the channel to flock to. And the reason being, well, this is where I sit. This is where I sit on our plane, our reality, and our realm. So now you know, monoculturalism, been doing it for ancient times. It hasn't been something we're just looking at now. Multiculturalism was only sucked out of thin air back in 1964 and came into play in 1974. Well, how's that going for you? We know the end product there. It was an experiment, and it's history proves now it was an experiment. And this is why we're saying go back to a monoculturalism, because it works. It's been happening for thousands and thousands of years. And whatever works, and as I said, if it's not broken, nothing was broken. And I believe in having everybody into the mix, as long as they learn to change and transformation and adaptability into one's culture. As I said, I'd go live with the Eskimos, but my adaptability would be with their culture. I wouldn't go down there and try and change them. Why? They've been living that way for thousands of years. Why would you want to change a culture that's been there for thousands of years and surviving? And I tell you right now, you're going to wipe out all our farmers. We need our farmers. The farmers are a must. And this is where sustainability comes into it. Everything's got to have sustainability. You cannot, this is why it's all gone greed. It's just pure greed. Greed just ropes in everything. Corruption, well, money. Money is the root of all evil, isn't it? So your money and the devil's temptation, as I say. That greed, and turns to gluttony too, doesn't it? Gluttony. And all they're doing is just, it's exactly what the Vikings done from the very beginning. They used to come in and rape and pillage. Well, we're better than that now. So what is happening over in England? Is not one culture coming in and raping and pillaging? Of course. That's why history repeats, if you let it. We should be evolving. Bettering ourselves, making better people out of ourselves. That's why I only want the good men and the good women. And the monocultural, well, it worked. That's why you shut down all the borders in all countries. If you want to go back home, that is fine. Wherever you want to go back home, this is my home. So this is where I stay. And this rebirth, anyways. I'd love to go back into France, but if that's meant to be, that will be my next life. And you've got to start really getting into that spiritual side, because that's who an emperor is. This is why your education, you bring back your maths, your science, your English, your history, your geography. In the history, it's got to be true history. Science, that's your biological makeup, and you can do all your DNA testing that through science. your ancestry. Do your ancestry science in history, isn't it? And I know through the years, for the last 40 years, I've done my ancestry, because everyone's on their own journey and their own path. You open up doors, close doors, and I am illuminating the path of righteousness, because that's the stage I am. Stage, path, level, phase. I'm in number 11. And it's never too late to get on this path of righteousness. Never too late. I'm not disappointed. I'm happy now. I'm happy I'm communicating with you guys, because you got to get the facts out there. You got to get the facts out there. You know, you all jump on Tommy Robertson, but listen to his interview. That's his story. That's his story. That's not a narrative that's coming from, you know, commercial stations are supposed to be independent. And now you've got, what is it, these F.E. witches or something? Come on. I'll use that alchemical force on yous. Don't you worry about that. But true. That is true. You've got black witches and white witches. Balancing act. Balancing act. And that's why, you know, for, like you see it now, the F.E. witches are they called? I'm not too sure. I don't delve into that, because I've got my own alchemical force and my own forces at play. And you know it's very, very strong. And it has to be very, very strong to take on these other dark energies. Monoculture, culturalism, and the young ones, 30-year-olds, when were you born? 1983 or something, isn't it? Or 1993. 1993, see, it's getting along now. 30-year-olds, you wouldn't know this. That's why he's saying, but multiculturalism isn't that blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. They invented that word out of thin air back in 1964 and put it all in play as an experiment. That's what it is, an experiment. And it hasn't worked. It's been in play for what? 50 years. It hasn't worked. It was worth a thought. It was worth a thought, but obviously, no, you cannot mix different cultures in, because one culture will want to overtake the other culture, and it's all about that green and power again, isn't it? As I said, monoculture, look it up, Google it. Put in monoculturalism, the origin of it, and it's been here for centuries, ancient times, with human beings. System in place that worked for thousands of years. A system in play hasn't even worked for 50 years. Get rid of it. We get rid of it. That's why we go back to the drawing board. And that's why I'm here sitting in my ancestral regency of the blood lineage. See things even from in the tomb. And that's a fact. 08. Swift action. That's what I'm saying. We're getting into swift action now, because I'm 1,000,000,000% on where I should be in this point in the matter of the moment. I got to read this out. 0808. Swift action. Action. Because it's just going to get, well, it's going to fall off the perch, isn't it? Wealth, empathy, promises, commitment, affection, inner strength, auspicious outcomes, auspicious. Don't you see a lot of auspicious things happening out there now? You will enter a time of expansion. Jupiter. So begin taking steps toward achieving your ultimate objective immediately. Finances will miraculously improve. It will. Oh, and somebody has their mind set on you. 0606 was on the bottom. Yeah, so things to make you go, things to make you go, Don't worry, I'm not disappointed anymore. I was feeling disappointed, and you can see why. The Emperor has been disappointed, because everyone should be jumping on the bandwagon. A lot of sharks out there, and if I've got the boat and I throw you a rope, I'd be taking the rope, or you're just going to get eaten by the sharks. And that's what's happening. And then they feed on your fear. This is why I said, show no fear. Show no fear. Carl Stefanovic. I suggest you better give us a call and I'll go on your program. And I'll tell the golden truth how it is through my ancestral regency of the bloodline. And then we'll blow a lot of things out of the water, won't we? Because mine is uncorrupted. Uncorruptible. Because we do it for love and our people. Our populace out there. That's why you won't see an ad. You're not going to see any witches on my program because I don't have ads. So no one can pull the plug on my ads. I don't make anything because it's selfless. It's selfless. It's your spiritual being self. 1221. Take an initiative. That's why I took initiative. Took initiative. Tried to run like a candidate, or was a candidate. Still am a candidate when I look at it now, the big picture. It left a legacy anyway, didn't it? Okay? That's me anchor now. That's me anchor. The anchor of G-Shore Productions, how it all went horribly wrong with the Salvadors on the docks and stuff like that, and through corruption and briberies and on the take through the government. Everything's just been crap in Australia anyway for the last 50 years. It's all led to organised crime, your criminals, your gangsters, and that includes those bad Liberal and Labor Party with the lobby groups. Oh, it's plain as day. It's plain as day. All we've got to do is just rip the shit out of it all. Change, optimism, joy, communication, messages, good news, hope so, expression and high vibes. Work with what you have and it will get you places. This is why I just work. This is just coming through on my phone. I haven't got any fancy stuff here because I believe, and my belief and my hope and faith is in the people, the populace, that see how raw it is, and I just come at you raw. I don't do any cut and paste and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I don't do any of that stuff. What you see is what you get, and it's the real deal. And you said, all should be knowing this by now. You'll find inspiration and figure out a way forward. You might also be getting some good news soon. Good news soon. See, that picks me up straight away. And 0303, taking chances. Up for the challenge. Solving problems. Done it all my life. We've done it all in the previous lives. Look it up. If you don't believe it, or you got that skepticism or whatever, skeptic, or just a naysayer, or a troll, go back through the history. And that's another thing they done to poor Pauline. They went back 6-7 years to see what they can get on her. This is how the dark side works. And that's why the satanic, dark, evil rituals that they do, they get you to do, you perform horrible things, but they also take pictures of you. And that's how they blackmail the ones sitting in those high positions. Look at England. England's had, 5 prime ministers in 5 years. Oh, let's all retire and sit on a big fat pension. Exactly what they done here when you had Rudd and Gillard and Abbott done it. They all done it so they can get that big fat pension when they move on, and they move on to private enterprises anyway, private corporations, sitting on board of directors or as chairman or blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's make more money. Guess what, pals? You only got one life here. Might be good for how long you're here for. I don't know how long you're here for. Only the Most High knows that, but he can take it off you like that. And then you go to the afterlife. And some go to the underground, and some go to the above ground, don't they? You have no idea, seriously, how the supernatural forces play. And Mother Gaia, look what we're doing to Mother Goddess Gaia. The earthquake over in Venezuela, mate, that's just, I said there was going to be earthquakes everywhere anyway. It's what happens when you push things too far. Success, knowledge, friendship, impatience, freedoms, optimism, taking chances. When chances present themselves, seize them, and do something out of the ordinary. Whether in your professional or personal life, you'll find success by welcoming creative impulses and having faith in your own abilities. Trust in chance and take risky opportunities that could change your life for the better. Now, in your ancestry, did I say before, you might have a sister or a brother or an auntie or an uncle or mum and dad or grandparents. A lot over the years now have been tracing their ancestry like me. And as I said, there's a lot of surprises. That's the history of our human beings. Human beings, what we are. Human beings, also as earthlings. Human beings residing on planet Earth. Whether it's a prison planet, whether you got to get it right this time or not, but you still got to survive and you still got to have sustainability. So therefore, as I said, your most critical things, the most precious thing is water. And then your food. Get the fluoride out of water for starters. It's another thing that's bloody stuffed us up. It's like bringing in the cane toads here. You solve one problem, then create like two problems. Foolish fools. They're fools. Foolish people. Get rid of your fools. They're only in there for their own selfish gains. Because they're dark, very dark, evil people, bad people. That's why the toxicity, we cast the toxicity out. Parasites. Let's hope the parasites haven't taken over. Okay, so the Nine of Swords, Gemini Mars, we've still got action and the art of war. And you're just stuck in this cycle. This is what I'm saying. We're cycle one now. This is where we zoom ahead. We zoom ahead. The Knight of Swords is the nightmare card. And it's a nightmare to some, but it's a dream to some too. And you've heard me say that. A dream to some and a nightmare to others. And those others know who they are. They're the ones, the dark, evil, criminals, gangsters, organised crime. And they're in bed with the critters and creatures and monsters and demons within our government. And as I always say, not all, but some. Nine of Swords is the nightmare card where past hurts appear in dreams. Like manacles in the back. Not wanting to bear to face them. It shows disappointment, loneliness, and feelings of guilt. See, disappointment. That's it, exactly. Disappointment. I said it right at the start. But I no longer feel that anymore, so I'm going to throw that card away. Because we're not feeling disappointment, but you are trapped in these cycles who I'm trying to get you out of. It's with your higher collectiveness and your higher consciousness and knowing exactly and being aware on everyone is with their authenticity through their DNA. Through their DNA. Rightio. I know what we forgot. Probably that's why. Drawing. Heal, heal, heal. Meditation, yoga, silence, go on your bushwalk, go on the beach. Nice feet in the waves from the beach. Relax, relax. Non-stress, non-stress. Non-anxieties. Yeah, oh well, we're here now, aren't we? Let's just say, the light's not real good, but you can hear me all right. Light's not good, me throat chakra's not good, but I'm still here with you guys, because someone might be watching me and just say, oh, I want to see Todd again, you know? Because I want to communicate with you guys again. Even though I cannot see you guys, I can feel you. I can feel you. And that's the connection you have with everybody. You have that connection with everybody. And the good vibes. The Eight of Wands, Sagittarius Mercury, the formation of the Eight of Wands, reverse to events that unfold quickly. Remember, we're going to have big major events unfolding quickly. Where energy is full. I'm full of energy. As I said, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. Ready, action. And everything is done more smoothly with passion. Okay, so that's your solar plexus. The Three of Pentacles, Capricorn Mars again. Answer is yes. Represents a business model or capital operation with a marked price. The Three of Pentacles usually stands for teamwork. Yeehaw! Woohoo! And also indicates that success is not an accident, but a skilled, first class and real work. And it's not an accident you've come here, is it? See the solar Jaguar Emperor sitting in my rightful place. Symbolises a thought that cannot be discarded. The Ten of Wands, Sagittarius, Saturn. Love to be a journalist, because I'd just blow all this shit out of the water. All the crap would be blown out of the water. It's just talking the golden truth and the golden facts. And how come one of you young ones haven't picked up with multiculturalism? Put it in. Origin of the word. They plucked it out of thin air, just like those dark witches or black witches do. So I said they put a spell on you guys. It's like you're in this trance, and that's why the more come to me, the more awake you're going to be, because you know the golden truth and the golden facts and the golden light illuminating the path. What do you think I have 11? Destiny number 11. It's the messenger and the visionary. The golden truth. You have to go all out, which undoubtedly brings huge psychological pressure on yourself. As I said, that's another thing they weaponized, didn't they, in the old days? That's why they had the asylums and they done lobotomies, was it? friggin' hell, they used to put a chisel here and bang it. It's going to do you a headache, isn't it? And then electric shock. A lot of this stuff we've gone through, I tell you. The Everett, he wanted to show his face the other day. That's a maybe. Knight of Swords. Me knights are coming through. Knights in shining armour. Okay, so the Ten of Wands. Root chakra. The Hierophant. The throat chakra. Good for me throat. And then you've got the heart chakra, because the knights, the chivalric order. The Ten of Wands stands for, it's like the sun rises, goes to its median, and then sunset. The Ten of Wands is giving you it all your all. The cruelty of reality makes you have to go all out. Exactly. Which definitely brings huge psychological pressure on yourself. Don't worry about your Emperor. I've got much energy at my disposal, and it's all full energy to help, support, and assist you guys, because it's the greatest mass awakening, unstoppable, inevitable, irreversible, unavoidable, and I guess you all know that by now. Awake, rise and shine, abracadabra, and illuminating the path of righteousness. Everybody to jump on, never too late, never too late. And also you don't want to leave it too late, but it's never too late, and don't leave it too late. Sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, the Hierophant is wise, good at communicating and following rules. The monocultural society. You have to follow rules. Funny about that, you got to play by the rules now. But two cultures clashing, there can only be one culture, can't they, after it? And that's just a streetwise common sense, and from your ancestral lineage that goes way back 4,000 years, mother and the father. Fact. DNA. What a blessing this DNA is. Be running around not knowing who we were still, wouldn't we? That's another thing. With your science and history, your history, for your research, for your ancestral roots. And we're all connected, don't worry about that, but whoever that goes back the furthest, that's where the other children came from. And then science, your biological makeup, your male and female, it's through your chromosomes. Your X's and Y's and YYX and so forth. They're your chromosome will make up male or female. And you know exactly who you are. And then we do know, okay, if you've got too many X's, I know there's Aphrodites out there where to production, well, you've got a penis and you've got a vagina. Just leave you that way until the age of 18. Who cares? But then you'll be old enough to make up your own mind if you might like to have both of them. But we cannot make decisions for people and over the age of 18. Do as you wish. But you're in my care and I'll have responsibility. Because it's all in your genes, your genealogy, and your genetics and your biology. And the chromosomes, all scientific facts. Male and female, two genders. And masculinity and femininity. Oh, that's right. Get it right. Just male and female. Sometimes things get too complicated. Knight of Swords. The heart chakra. The Knight of Swords has his own goals and directions, defences and dexterity. That's a good word, isn't it? Dexterity. And enters a situation of hostility, anger and enmity without thinking. This is why you got to think. And put your thought processes in place. And sometimes don't rush into things. Only fools rush in. Fools again. You got fools here in government, not all, but some. Some that don't even know what they're doing because they got fake certificates, doctorates. You got doctors out there. I mean, I don't want to scare you too much, but you've got fake con merchants, doctors out there with fake doctorate certificates and claiming to be doctors. Gone bad. We have to fix it. Got to fix it. That's only because a lot of certificates already signed off that I read in the paper. And yes, it was true back in the day. Not as fake as what it is now and so left. And you wouldn't even know what's true and what's false. What's fake. And what's not. Getting pretty bad, isn't it? I know it is. Lamp 62. I'll tell you what, my story's been fun and games. And I'm still here because I'm still up to the challenge. Because I like the challenge. I've done it all my life. Letting people in, good people, bad people. Well, they misbehaved. They soon got turfed out, didn't they? And then they got barred. Like here, you do the wrong thing in Australia, you'll get kicked out and you'll get barred. Simple, isn't it? Follow by one's cultural rules. And as I say, our cultural rules, and within our legal side of it, yeah, it might be a bit of fiction, but it wasn't fiction until the Habsburgs, because we're Anglo Celts. And that's where that law and order came from. And that monocultural. Until, yes, I can understand taking away the white Australian policy. I don't agree with the white Australian policy either. But the people and the cultures that come here, I don't mind what you do in your house. You can do what you bloody will like. It's your house. It's your, but this is our home. That's your house. This is our home. This is where we live. So you obey by whatever culture, and perhaps we should have done that with the Aboriginals. America should have done it with the Americans. But that timeline's come and gone. So I'm more worried about the timeline we're in here and what legacy we can live in the now and present. Because I live now and in the present. As I say, monoculturalism, well, all the cultures have it. All the cultures is a monoculturalism. Indians had it. The Aboriginals here, our brothers and sisters, and the Indians are our brothers and sisters. We're all brothers and sisters. Why are we fighting? No, that's just no common sense. It's just, obviously there's a lot of anger out there, isn't there, within being indoctrinated through one's, family. Especially, as you know, religion. Being indoctrinated through religion. You go to your higher self and your higher place and your higher purpose and your higher mission, it all becomes irrelevant and obsolete. But you need a hierarchy. And whether it's a spiritual hierarchy, so be it. All you got is greed. You got a lot of anger out there. You got greed out there. You got corruption. And all that. That's why you've got that anger, because of that greed and the corruption. And the tall poppy syndrome, which I got into yesterday, all needs to stop. All needs to stop. Perseverance, perseverance. Being ordinary, being ordinary, being ordinary instead of having that tall poppy syndrome. And all start living in harmony. Harmony, once you get into those frequencies, that's what I mean. It's all about your higher selves and fruitfulness. So you got perseverance. Perseverance, being ordinary, being ordinary. And we have fruitfulness, because once we get in there, and we've just got to concentrate one thing at a time. If we do production, well, we concentrate on production, don't we? Whether that's production in the electricity again. But I know one thing, all it needs to be, all those private corporations that were sold off, all those private organisations and corporations that profiteered off our public assets being sold, which shouldn't have been sold in principle, just the principle of the matter, have to be returned. They have to be returned to who they belong to in the first place. And that's simple too, isn't it? What was stolen shall be returned. The money it's worthless to you. The money is worthless. Where you going in the afterlife, it won't matter how much money you've got. And trust me, God in the universe's mysterious ways, he'll just come back here as a freaking junkie or something. He won't be prospering anymore. And that's if you come back. You'll be down in hell for all eternity. You won't have it. You won't even get a second or third chance at it, because you've done bad things. As I said, there's a lot of rogue demons out there. Don't get roped in, R-O-P-E-D, roped. Don't get roped in by those demons. The lasso, or anyone that wants you to do bad, evil things, you say no. That's why you got free will. Oh, it might look easier. Yeah, it might look easier on their plane and so forth. But when it's time, when that contract is up, well, you're the devil's property. You're the devil's property. Can't help you. You go through the fire and brimstone. As I say on this, and as I illuminate in the path of righteousness to each and every one, climb on board, and it's never too late to change, because it's life, death, rebirth, transformation, reformation, restoration. And yes, some people see this as some kind of joke. So be it. Not worried about you, because I just keep putting the facts out there. The golden truth, the golden light of truth, the golden light of facts. And you'll see what is happening now, because everyone's, well, opening their eyes to the golden truth. You no longer believe in the lies because you see it for yourself now. Before, we didn't. But it's all about being in our higher collectiveness of the collective higher consciousness. And sitting as one. As I say, with your wholeness to oneness and then to the source. And in wholeness, that's where we've got all the challenges. And you straighten out your inner world. Once your inner world is in peace, love and harmony within yourselves, that is when you start expanding expanding, and using the gravitational, isn't it? Gravitational energies from Jupiter, the big red planet, and use all that energy, and you embrace and absorb, and get it up to full as a brim, full to the brim. And we've got to get out of this chaos and anarchy. And as I say, they can go on about multiculturalism all they want. Irrelevant. Push it to the side now. Push it to the side. It was an experiment. Didn't work. Mistake. Another mistake. Now the challenge is to just go back to a monoculturalism with the people that are here, and they obey by the main culture. And getting to know, just to know, it shouldn't cost any money. As I said, I'm here putting my spirituality out there and unconditional divine love and everything I possibly can give to you guys to lift you guys up in the higher self. I've spoken to many First Nations. They might call themselves, they might want to be called Aboriginals. This is the thing. You go for First Nations and they go, no, I'm an Aboriginal. And you go, oh, okay. Or you'll say, okay, Aboriginal or First Nation. They go, no, I'm Indigenous. I'm an Indigenous to this land. We're all Indigenous, and your feet should be firmly on the terracotta of this earth, and we call Australia now. That's where your feet are firmly planted here. Might be Anglo Celts, but this is our culture here now. We've built up for 230 years as Aussies, and assimilating and integrating with our Aboriginal, First Nations, Indigenous. They're friends, brothers, sisters. They're beautiful, beautiful. We're all beautiful. Yous are all beautiful. Now we just got to spread the love out there, and the peace and the harmony. And if one culture clashes with another culture, that bad culture will bring out the bad culture in the other side. There's one will eventually consume the other culture, and they'll embrace our way of life. And I've seen this with the Italians and the Greeks. We assimilated, and integrated, and absorb. You absorb everything. Absorb all that energy coming down. But you embrace it, be aware, adaptability, and monocultural is an ancient way of surviving. And I tell you, if you don't, we're gonna be wiped out, and 500 years from now or 1,000 years from now, they're going to look at us as an ancient civilization, like all the other ancient civilizations. This is why we got to learn by history and go back to the originals. Okay, so that's why it's your biological makeup and your surname. That's another thing in history, your surname, you chase that down. And in science, your biological makeup, and you can see how unfiltered or filtered your blood lineage is, and how much of a direct or indirect it is, how many people you've mixed in with. That's all done through your DNA, your genetic makeup, and that's your genetic blueprint. And this is why the DNA is unaltered. It cannot be, not like the Habsburgs did with the family trees and that coming up through the centuries. They just married into other families and they backed each other up, and that's where it's a big, huge forgery. Big, huge forgery. Because they had the wealth back then, they could pay the military. And then they paid the military to go and do genocide to non-believers of their religions. That's why you got to have belief, and you got to believe, and that is in yourself and the higher source, which is, as you all know, the Almighty. The Almighty. God's plan, God's glory, God's kingdom. If I sit here as the protector and the defender. And this is what we do now. We protect and defend ourselves. Pretty simple, isn't it? Mars, action, art of war. The Royal Star Antares. Much, much, much strength. And revealing what has been concealed. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Jupiter. Exploration. Expanding. And our excursion we're having. And then you got the sun, the moon, and Pluto, life, death, rebirth, reformation, transformation, restoration. One word back to front there, but it doesn't matter. Same, isn't it? Same. Okay, let's get this ball rolling. Let's get up in atoms, you know? Up in atoms. Ready. Let's be serious. Very, very serious. Because there's very, very serious chaos and serious anarchy out there. So it's time to fix it in the timelessness, intent, pulse, receptivity, and enchant. Enchanting the masses out there. Because I am revealing and illuminating the path of righteousness for everyone to jump on board. Never too late to change. And then the master number 22 and the master number 33. There's a lot there, as I say, in my gifts, devices. And I share it all with you guys. As the unconditional divine love flows out to each and every one of you. Embrace it, be aware, acknowledge it, and action. Actualize everything, actualization. Because you come to that self-realization and this civilization. And we have stabilization and no more destabilization because you have come to your realization. And a beautifulization. That's what we're working on. And when we keep working on it, well, we become that work, don't we? We become another cog in that working cycle. Cycle number 1. Everyone do their jobs out there. Your job of authenticity. Genetic blueprint. 1 and 1's 11. Thumbs up is 11, isn't it? Thumbs up. Name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Take care. Stay safe out there. And we say bye for now. Give you a quick wink. Blessings to one and all, and God bless.